Hey Jamaica team and parents, this is my quick review of the meeting that we had this past Wednesday, and I hope this is informative to you, and hopefully it will help you be aware of all the things that we're getting ourselves into. Woo! First off, I'm super excited that you have chosen to go on this missions trip, and just a few things I need you to be aware of. If you haven't made your first payment, you need to go ahead and go online to the Core Missions website that I've sent you and make that first payment. And also, as quickly as possible, even this Sunday, I need you to give me your commitment letter with all of those boxes checked, saying that you are committed, that you know Jesus Christ, that you're going to be a team player, that you're going to respect different cultures. I really need that from you as soon as possible. First thing that we went over is basically everybody who's going to be involved in the trip. The adults, our leader is going to be TJ Kimmel, and then myself, and then Jamie, and then Amy Weekly. And so excited about all those who signed up to go and are planning on going. Brooklyn, Ariel, Lauren, Philip, Trevor, Sam, Bailey, Allie, Caden, Braden, Emily, Mackenzie, Tyler, Jeffrey, Lexi, and Brinley. Super excited about this team. I look forward to the future meetings that we have and training with one another. And with that said, when we have meetings and we have training, you need to do everything that you can to be at those meetings. It's not that I can't make these videos. It does take extra time. That's not the point. You're just missing out on us being able to gel as a team, to pray for one another, and training you on what we're going to be doing needs to take place in these meetings. So when we have a meeting scheduled and on the calendar, make sure you push everything aside to be at those meetings. Also, that's what you signed and agreed to do on that commitment letter. So please take note of that and make sure you can be at our meetings. The verse that I picked for our missions trip is Acts 13:47, and Paul was going through a time with Barnabas as he understood that the Pharisees and the Jews have rejected Jesus Christ and were not going to commit to what Christ did on the cross for them. And this is what he said. He said, "For so the Lord has commanded us, I have set you as a light to the Gentiles, that you should be for salvation to the ends of the earth." And that's the calling. That's crazy that the Gentiles are basically anybody that's not a Jew. Of course, salvation is for the Jews, but it's also for everybody in the entire world to be a light of salvation for the ends of the earth. And that's the number one reason why we're going on this missions trip, is to be a light to some people on a different part of our world, to be able to give them the chance and the hope to meet Jesus Christ. So that's our motivation. I hope that's your motivation. I'm very excited that we have a purpose in doing this. Next, in the attachment that you got this video in, I've included a sheet that I need you to print off if you weren't in the meeting. I need you to put your name at the top, and it's going to ask you 3 different questions to help you write down your testimony. Your testimony is basically the story of how you came to know Jesus Christ. The 3 questions are, what was your life before you met Jesus? And then the next question is, how did you come to know Jesus Christ as your Savior? What were the circumstances leading up to that? And then the last question is, how has knowing Jesus Christ as your Savior made a difference in your life even today? And take this very seriously. It doesn't have to be super long or detailed or something that's going to bring tears to someone's life. But this is the most exciting way to be able to witness to somebody, to be able to tell your story on how Jesus Christ came and found you and saved you and changed your life. We want to be able to verbalize our testimonies and be able to share Jesus Christ that way. So print this off, fill it out, make sure you bring it with you to our next meeting. Also, in the attachment that I have this video in, I have this little booklet. It's about 3 pages long, called The Complete Spiritual Evaluation. And when I was working out at Camp Eagle, the camp director, his name was Stanley Long, when we were working out there to be staff and counselors, he gave us this sheet and this challenge before we started off the summer for summer camp. It was a Christian summer camp. And man, God used this in my life in such an amazing way. As I was able to use this and just dig deep into some very real and personal questions about my belief, my faith in the Lord, and my commitment to Him. So go ahead and start going through this. Take it very seriously. This is something that I want to be able to give to you in your life as you continue your commitment in your walk with Jesus Christ. This trip isn't just going to be a fun trip and we're going to tell some kids about Jesus and then come back. No, I want it to be a huge impact in your life, and this is one way so that you can see where you are with your walk with the Lord and challenge yourself in order to just be able to be a little bit more committed to Him in so many different ways. All right, so check that out. The next thing is that you need to order your passport before June. That's going to give you about 7 weeks. If you order it all the way up to, if you wait all the way up to June, it's going to give you about 7 weeks. So you need to give yourself up to 4 to 6 weeks to be able to order this and wait for it to come. So do not wait any later than June to order your passport. You can expect it to be $145 or so if you don't have a passport yet. But go ahead and start looking into that. The website, if you go to the Core Missions website that I have given the link to you several times, I'll also put it in the attachment in the description here. Go ahead and check that out. There's a button there that says need a passport. Click that. It'll take you to state.gov and you can apply for a passport there. Our next portion is just talking about a few different fundraiser ideas. One that we've already put in place is that we've asked our Sunday school classes, there's about 6 of them in our church, if they would be willing to take on one ticket for the missions trip, basically to each Sunday school class raising $1,300 until the summer to be able to give towards this missions trip. So that's a potential of $7,800, which would go towards all of our tickets, which I think it's very, very exciting, and I'm very confident that each Sunday school class can do that, and I'm excited for that opportunity and them being able to send us to Jamaica. Jay Roy has made some pretty amazing t-shirts to sell as another fundraiser. If 10 of us sell 10, that's $1,100. So I again, attached to the attachment where this video was, I've given you a link to be able to print off this picture and also another sheet that will have a place to write down numbers and names and sizes for those that would like to buy a t-shirt from you. We're challenging each team member to sell 10 shirts. That would be really great. Some people don't want to support, just kind of hand you money. This is another way to say, hey, would you support me by buying one of these t-shirts? They're $20. They're a really good shirt. They're not just cotton. They're half and half, which means they don't shrink as easily as cotton. Really good shirt, really good way to be able to get our name out there as far as what we're trying to do. So check that out, print those off, and hopefully you can sell 10 of these before the summer is out. I'm gonna try to breeze through these pretty quickly. There's a Chick-fil-A fundraiser that we can do. We basically call Chick-fil-A and they give us a table in Chick-fil-A and give us opportunity to talk to people to see if they want to give towards our missions trip. They have like a little spin wheel that people can pay $1 and spin a wheel, get some free fries or whatever. It's pretty cool. Hopefully we can do that. Another thing we can do is called a Walkathon. It basically asking people to support you for how many miles you go. There's different ways we can do a walkathon or a jogathon or miles and smiles. You basically ask people to sponsor you for maybe like a quarter a mile, and you get as many sponsors as you can, and then you go out and you exercise, and then you record those, and people will cheer you on as you do a fundraiser like that. Kind of fun. I've done this before. Another thing we talked about is having a chili cook-off contest. People will pay like $35 to register their chili, and of course we'll have like a prize and a trophy for the winner. And then people who come to the chili dinner actually pay to eat the chilies and then vote for whose chili they think is the best. So it's a pretty fun fundraiser. Food's always great. This is another thing that we can do. Another thing we can do is called a penny drive. We can do this in our school and in our kids programs, you know, having 2 buckets, boys versus girls, them bringing their change and their pennies in, making it a big competition of bringing some money in. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to set this one up for our children's ministries. Now we're definitely going to do this called Walo Money. Next meeting we're going to get a big old bulletin board, and you guys are going to decorate all these envelopes, and we're going to stick them on this bulletin board, find a place in our church to put it on. Basically, you put a price tag from $1 to $200 on the board, and then people, whenever they feel led, they take an envelope and they fill it and they drop in the offering or give it to the office, and it's a really cool way in a fun way to raise money. And I can explain a little bit about this another time. We could have a fun night where we put on a skit or do some kind of competition where people come out, eat some dinner, and then we just have some games with parents and adults. I don't have a lot of details on this right now, but the sky's the limit on some things that we can do, and we'll get together on this idea a little bit later. Cookie walk, cake walks, those are always fun. People make cookies and cakes and stuff like that, and we have some kind of competition for them to win them, and you pay a little bit to try to win. We could also do a bake sale, which are a lot of fun as well. Hey, we can use pranks in order to raise some money. We can get a toilet and paint it purple and put it in someone's yard, and they have to pay us $20 to remove the toilet, but then they get to pick whose yard they put it in. And with the I forget what it's called. Here we go. It's a flocking. You get a bunch of pink flamingos and you stick them all over the yard, and you have a flyer that says, hey, if you want us to remove these flamingos from your yard, you got to support our missions trip for $20, and then you get to pick whose yard you want us to flock these in. So it's a lot of fun. We just got to make sure we pick the right people, don't make people mad, but maybe we can do something like this. Another thing we can do is get a bag like this, get people to pay to sign it, and put some money in it. They got to put the money in the bag to be able to sign it or write a message on it. And we can get the deflated soccer balls for the soccer camp to put in here. They can either buy a soccer ball or put some money in here, so we can take this extra luggage with the deflated soccer balls to Jamaica. We also want to get those pennies, which is just basically a mock jersey for them to wear with the numbers, so we can keep track of the soccer tournament that we're going to do. But I think this is a really cool option. I'm really looking forward to this one, having a basketball tournament with basketball season just right now ending. I think it'll be a good time to have a basketball tournament in a few weeks, or maybe even a couple months, just bringing back basketball. And I know a lot of people. We can have a lot of advertising for this, and I think it's going to be a great turnout. But yeah, we look forward to all of these possibilities of fundraisers as we get closer to the departure date for Jamaica. Those are just some fundraiser ideas. If you have some ideas for some fundraisers that you have used in the past, please let me know. I am not all the knowledge on fundraisers, so please let me know. I hope those things were informative to you. Just as a recap, don't forget to turn in that commitment letter as soon as possible. Start thinking about your passport, and if you haven't already registered online, there at the core missions link that I've given you, and also paid your first $100 payment. Check that out. Make sure you do that. I look forward to getting back with you guys, letting you know schedule as far as our meetings, and looking forward to those fundraisers as we continue to pray and ask God to use us in an incredible way. I'm looking forward to this trip. Super thankful for you, and I'll talk to you soon.